Hello, this is Lee Bishop. I'm the builder of the Stoney Creek branch of the East Tennessee and Western North Carolina Railroad in ON 30 gauge. Main reason for creating this video is I want to point out some of the things I've changed on the layout lately. It's been in a few magazines, so I just thought I would point out some of the stuff I've been up to. First off, this is the headquarters of Baker Company, 796 Railway Operating Battalion. I think I'm the only person in the hobby who actually has a designated railway operating unit on their layout. As a former Army officer myself with a maintenance unit and having a World War II Jeep in my garage, I have way too many hobbies for a person my pay grade. I decided I had to recreate the 1940s vehicles accurately. This GMC in the middle and the Chevy 1.5 ton on the far right actually only sold in Eastern Europe. Very difficult to find. I'm very glad I put the time and effort and money into it. This shed I'm kind of pleased with. It's basically a shed in the East Tennessee, Western North Carolina colors, but being used by the military. You see the level of detail that I've added to the layout recently. To the left is going to eventually be a water tower frame. I just basically stacked some stuff on top of it in the meantime. When the pandemic started, I built 5 of these laser kits. They're made by ON 30 IMA, made out of wood. Pretty good models, and it took a while to build, but I'm really glad I put the time into those as well. Been sitting on the kits for quite some time. And this is pretty much a typical mixed freight for the layout. Bachmann 10-wheelers. Got a couple of coaches by AMS AccuCraft. The remainder of the cars are made by Bachmann, although I do have the laser kits for the hopper cars. And the caboose, number 505, is actually built by Deerfield River Laser. A couple of details over here in the Winter, Tennessee area I wanted to point out. This is actually a typical gate you would find in Eastern Tennessee in the 1930s and 40s. And you would call it a gate, they called it a gap, wherein you can see a series of horizontal slats are held into place into a frame. So if you actually needed to get in and out, you just pull the slats out and walk through. Next, to a collaboration I did with my father, a master craftsman, definitely. Building scale 12-pounder Napoleon barrel for him would be like me drawing a stick figure. It was really no big deal for him. Just told him what I wanted to scale and showed up in the mail. Pedestal I made myself. I'm very proud of this collaboration I made with my father. And I refer to this as my $100 cornfield. This is the Enzer farm. Enzer is one of the names that people live in the general area. The few figures on the layout that are actually named after people are all named after families that are actually common names of that area. There are 424 corn stalks in this field. Just the one thing most people notice when they walk into the room. Very few people know what a Baldwin 10-wheeler is supposed to look like, but everyone knows what corn looks like. And this structure I'm very pleased with. Made this when the pandemic started as well, right after I was done with the hopper kits. Mainly made out of styrene, varying types. The roofing's made by Plastric. Front columns are made out of wood. The interior is lighted and fully detailed. It's basically made to represent the J. Grindstaff store in Sadie, Tennessee, along Stoney Creek Road, near modern-day area called Hurley Hollow. I'm reasonably pleased with how the interior turned out. It's lighted with Woodland Scenics plug-and-play systems. Castings made by various manufacturers. I painted a lot of things, detailed a lot of things myself. The magazines